What if the United States lost the war? Nobody noticed the exact moment the world changed. At first, it looked like another international crisis, missile strikes, breaking news alerts, emergency meetings, politicians promising victory. People thought it would calm down like always, but this time, it didn't. The year was 2026. Tensions in the Middle East had reached dangerous levels. The United States sent aircraft carriers, bombers, and thousands of troops to protect allies and global trade routes. At first, America looked unstoppable. Then the attacks began. Not one attack, hundreds. Drone swarms struck military bases. Cyberattacks shut down power grids. Oil facilities exploded. Shipping routes became war zones. For the first time in decades, the United States wasn't controlling the situation, it was reacting to it. Then came the moment that shocked the world. An American warship was destroyed in a massive coordinated attack involving hypersonic missiles and advanced drones. The footage spread online within minutes. Burning steel, screaming sailors, radar systems failing. The world watched in disbelief. Because for nearly 80 years, people believed one thing: America always wins. Now that belief was cracking. Financial markets collapsed the next morning. Oil prices exploded. Airlines halted routes. Global trade slowed instantly. Then the cyber attacks intensified. Millions of Americans lost power across major cities. Banks temporarily froze transactions. Airports shut down. Communication systems failed. People rushed to grocery stores. Gas stations emptied within hours. Supermarket shelves went bare. Fear spread faster than facts. The government told citizens everything was under control, but behind closed doors, military leaders knew the truth. America was fighting a completely new kind of war, not just with missiles and soldiers, but with economics, cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, propaganda, and global instability. Meanwhile, rival nations saw opportunity. China moved carefully and strategically. Instead of entering the war directly, Beijing positioned itself as the stable alternative to Washington. While America burned money and resources, China expanded trade deals across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Russia increased pressure in Europe. Iran-backed groups intensified attacks. North Korea launched missile tests. The world sensed the balance of power changing. Then came Black Monday, the largest market crash in modern history. Wall Street collapsed. Retirement savings vanished. Banks limited withdrawals. Millions of Americans lost jobs within weeks. Factories shut down. Supply chains failed. Food prices doubled. The middle class began collapsing under inflation and unemployment. Social media turned into chaos. Some blamed foreign enemies. Others blamed the government. Others blamed each other. America became deeply divided, and the war still wasn't over. Then came the 72 hours. 3 days that changed the planet forever. Military satellites stopped responding. GPS systems failed. Cyber attacks crippled financial networks worldwide. Cargo ships drifted off course. Flights were canceled globally. Digital payment systems crashed. For one terrifying moment, modern civilization almost stopped functioning, and suddenly the world realized something terrifying. The United States was no longer untouchable. America's allies began panicking. European leaders held emergency meetings. Asian nations prepared for regional wars. Middle Eastern governments secretly negotiated with rival powers. Even NATO began cracking apart. Some countries wanted escalation, others wanted peace at any cost. The alliance that once dominated the world was beginning to fracture. Then came the speech. The president addressed the nation live on television. The message was supposed to calm the public. Instead, one sentence terrified everyone. We're entering a period of sacrifice unlike anything seen in modern generations. Markets crashed again overnight because people understood what that sentence really meant. America was losing control. And then the unthinkable happened. Several nations began reducing dependence on the U.S. dollar. For decades, the dollar had controlled global trade, oil markets, and international banking. Now countries were preparing for a future beyond American dominance. China accelerated alternative financial systems. Russia expanded energy alliances. New military partnerships formed across the world. The American-led world order was slowly collapsing. Inside the United States, life changed rapidly. Electricity prices surged. Crime increased. Homelessness exploded. Political extremism spread everywhere. Cities experienced rolling blackouts during cyber emergencies. Schools practiced digital shutdown drills. Families stockpiled food and medicine. The American dream itself began dying. For generations, Americans believed their children would live better lives than they did. Now millions believed the future would be worse. That psychological collapse became more dangerous than the military one, because once a population loses belief in the future, everything begins falling apart. Meanwhile, China continued rising, not through invasion, through patience. Beijing presented itself as the new center of stability, trade, and economic growth. Countries slowly shifted alliances, not because they hated America, but because they no longer trusted America to remain powerful. By 2030, the world had completely changed. The era of one global superpower was over. A new multipolar world had emerged. China dominated trade routes across Asia and Africa. Russia regained influence through energy and military pressure. Regional powers became more aggressive. And America? America still existed, still powerful, still armed, but no longer feared the same way. For the first time in nearly a century, another generation grew up in a world where the United States was not the uncontested leader of the planet. But the scariest part wasn't America losing, it was what happened after. Because history shows something dangerous. When dominant empires decline, the world rarely becomes peaceful. Instead, power vacuums emerge, new wars begin, arms races intensify, alliances collapse, and every nation starts preparing for the next great conflict. By the mid-2030s, artificial intelligence warfare dominated battlefields. Cyber sabotage became constant. Autonomous drones patrolled contested regions. Trust between nations disappeared. The world became more unstable than ever before. And humanity faced a terrifying question. If the American era truly ended, what comes next? Because power never disappears. It only changes hands. And history has proven one brutal truth over and over again. The fall of a superpower is never just the end of one nation's dominance. It is the beginning of a completely new world.